Okay, welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager, in which we try to get Iceland to be the new powerhouse of cycling. We are in our second season, so just what we're gonna do is set up the new season in this episode, and also we are gonna try our first races. We will end the episode probably at the end of February, but we'll see where we end up depending on the calendar as well. I'm gonna try to focus more on .pro races or .1 races to get that popularity up. Everything else I will kind of play in the background. Okay, let's go. First of all, squad, what I do, all on very high. We only have 7 riders this year and it seems to be playable, so that's quite good. It also means that we will have all of them going for the same goals. We have 2 R&D choices. So we have the frames from Van Rijssel, RCR Pro. We're gonna redesign the model, the RCR Pro. And then what kind of wheels will we go for? GB62, yeah. And also redesign the model to be more aerodynamic. Okay, scouting of juniors. We need to go to our scouting page, and we do not have a scout. Right, we were gonna get a new one. Staff, scout, new staff. What we want is someone with either legendary status or international status. Let's look at the ones with legendary reputation. We have here Rasmus Storm. He's more expensive, but I think he can improve. So if we get him, due to his reputation, he can improve to a 5, I think. So we're gonna try that. If it doesn't happen, we're gonna fire him and hire another guy to see if we can get rank 5 on Detail of Territories. So let's hire the legendary scout. Again, I don't care about doctors, and since we have only 7 riders, I'm gonna keep it with Dries Devenens as our only trainer. Okay, for facilities, we're gonna focus on Bramson this year, but it doesn't mean that we're not gonna get some good upgrades for the other good guys of our team. It's always better to focus on more than one. We have a lot of money projected left, so let's see what we can do here. I'm already gonna buy the tires, and then I'm also gonna, oh, maybe we can, that's maybe a bit too much. Yeah, that's a bit too much, I think. Okay, we're gonna upgrade his time trial stats, at least for Bramson here as well, because he's gonna be kind of a GC guy and his time trial is shit, so we need to get that up like this to measure molded handlebars for multiple season. Yeah, we're gonna do all of this for Bramson. It's quite expensive, but these ones are the most expensive, and it's +2 on time trial and prologue attributes, and it accounts for the whole career. So I think that's really nice. Let's buy them. Okay, we don't have a lot of money over at the end of the year. Doesn't really matter for us. The focus is really on getting better. Let's get to the calendar then. And same as last year, I'm just gonna go and get into all the races, and then we will select on the next day which one we actually want to ride. As you have seen, we can't double book our races because our entire team is 7 people. So we need to make sure when we delete the races we don't want to do, that we actually have only one race at a time. Okay, but for now, as we know, we will probably not get into a lot of them. We just apply for all of them and then see at the end in which ones we can get into. I'm a bit annoyed that there's not just a select all button, but okay. Just a quality of life feature, I guess. Okay, all of the races have been applied for. I now use the calendar to just skip one day, so we will then get the replies from the race organizers. That should work normally. If you go from the calendar, you can literally go and skip to get to one day further. There we go. Race organizers, we got a lot of accepted races, but also a lot of races that didn't get accepted. So let's check which ones we can get to. Okay, the race calendar is set now, at least for the first one. I've skipped to the 3rd of January because we got 0 invites for Pro Series, which is horrible. So I'm gonna try to keep applying for these. I'm just not sure we will ever gonna get an invite. I don't know if that works. But this would be horrible for our popularity problem. There is 1.2 race currently that we are accepted to, which I definitely will race, but if not, I'm kind of unsure how we will go through this season. Maybe this will just be a highlight season if it's the case. So we'll see. But I'm gonna try to keep getting this invite to the .pro races, because otherwise it's gonna be a really hard season for us to get that popularity improved. Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna apply for all of these now, and then we will confirm the race calendar for this period. Okay, let's skip to the next day. And yeah, none of the first quarter races will be .pro race. Alright, I'm all set up. I have planned all the races, at least for the first part. So what I'm gonna do, since we don't have any .1 races or .pro races, I'll just play through these, and after every race I'll do a quick recap of what happened, so we can blast through this season if this is indeed the only race in which we can improve our popularity. The goals still are reaching a top 150 this year, otherwise we will not get an increase in our training structures. That's the rule. Alright, first race of the season was a stage race. It was kind of a bust, to be honest. So from now on we're focusing on Bramson, his GC ambitions, but the competition seems to be too strong. In the hilly race, we couldn't follow the top, and then also in the climbing race, we did decently. I mean, our mountain stat is 61, so it's not a big surprise that these guys won from us, but hopefully by the end of the season we have progressed, we have improved Bramson here, so we can actually follow these guys. After all, he's only 18 years old. I really hope we can get that top 150, but if it doesn't happen, well, let's go for that improvement of popularity this season. Anyway, in the end, we ended up in 14th place. It's not enough to get any points whatsoever, so not the best start, but that was kind of to be expected. Okay, next race. Okay, we got an update of our training style for our main rider, and it appears to be modern, which is weird. Usually a young guy is more easily has the style of groundbreaking, but since his style is gonna be modern, we need to hire a modern style trainer. That means, actually, I'm just gonna fire Dries Devenants. His salary is very high for, I mean, not improving our main subject. So we're gonna fire him, and we're gonna find a modern style trainer. We have a few here which are legendary. Do we want that? Maybe that's a bit too expensive. Let's go for one of these guys. Danish one would make sense. Let's go for this Danish guy. Hire him and then make sure that he's training all of our guys. Finally, our first point for our new leader, Bramson here. It was a kind of hilly sprint stage, of course, being that it's basically impossible to beat these guys. But with a good lead out, we made it to the top 10, which will finally mean that we get points. How much that will be, I don't know out of the top of my head, but we can check here in rules. Scale, it's 1.2 race. Yep, here we are. So that will be 10 points. 10 points for our lead. Okay, I'll immediately start here, guys. We have our first victory with Bramson. It was a sprint stage, but right at the end there was a hill. So with a good train set up by our former leader, Johnson here, that took on the sprint in the flat bit there, we could gain enough space before Sarnowski here could catch us. It was super close, but we did it. This is great. This is awesome. That's 40 points in the bag for Bramson. That gets us up to 50 points in total already in the season, and we're only in February, so we're off to a great start. There were only 50 participants, so yeah, I immediately knew that a top 10 was imminent, but to get a win with this guy so early, not expected, especially with that sprinting stat. The only way we could do it is because it was quite like a small hill at the end. Okay, another one-day race, Grand Prix de la Ville d'Alger. 1.2 race and a finish that is a bit hilly, so we could also have a nice train. Unfortunately, we got beat here by this guy. I mean, he does have a better sprint stat and also the same hill stat as we have, so unfortunately we couldn't win it this time, but still a second place. I think that's 30 points in the bag. Yeah, exactly, 30 points here for a second place. Another race, we got a top 3 now. At the moment we are entering our goals here, so we have a string of one-day races that are all goals for us. So we have decent race day condition, which also means we can actually fight for these wins. Of course, what our goal was here is to sprint mostly with Johnson and then just for the last 50 meters put Bramson ahead. And it seems to be working decently right now. Definitely, if you compare the competition around us, they're all around 70 sprinting, and we are doing it here with a guy who is at 57 sprint. Of course, with Johnson, we could probably win, but I'm kind of betting on that Bramson will improve at the end of the season more effectively, so it will be easier for us to win in the end than with Johnson. It's a guess. We'll see how it ends up going. All right, we will have one race that's gonna be kind of live. It's the second stage of the Visit South Agents Islands race. Jesus Christ, that was a tough one. But the reason why we're doing it is because look at the ranking. We won the first race. It was a slight uphill at the end with a downhill before. Maybe you can see it below here. And we got away with the 3 riders of our team on the downhill. I already started sprinting with David Johnson. And then on the uphill, the other Johnson just did a perfect lead out. And we got 43 seconds on the second guy in the GC that is not from our team, at least. So we're gonna try to win this race. The second one is also an uphill finish, and the only thing we need to do is hold on and win the race, and then we got another amount of points in the back. I'm looking forward to this one. Let's get going. Okay, I forgot to start to record the end of this. As you can see, we're sprinting for the win here. Unfortunately, Pattison, I mean, look at this hill stat. He's gonna win this bit, but we will secure the GC, and that's the most important bit here. There we go, a second place in the stage, which also means extra points. I believe that's 5 of them. And then the GC win as well. That's perfect for our goal here. I had to use a lot of our domestiques to get that win because there was a big breakaway of 12 people. But there we go. Got an achievement with it as well. We win the GC and we win the young riders and the team standings. Perfect. Super happy about that. Okay, one of the last races of March, and we won it again. There was one race in between where we didn't even scratch the top 10, but here we could set up our train properly once again, as you can see with Johnson there at the end, and it was uphill, so we were able to outsprint the others. It's a bit surprising though if you look at the competition like with Scheretti and Vetter, but I think the best thing about this was our sprint train that actually got up to the front relatively early. If you look at for example, Scheretti here, it doesn't really have a teammate quite close, so he had to do everything himself. I thought he was gonna win actually, because he was ahead until 10 meters before the finish maybe, and then we overtook him. So yeah, really good result. And again, 40 points in the back to get us up to that top 150 spot. All right, this was the last race of March, and I'm also thinking that for this episode at least I'm gonna keep it at that. But as you can see, we're not even in the top 20. We're 23rd. Here at the end, since it's a flat stage, just the other teams just went so freaking hard, and our train just never even was in the front. It went just crazy hard, and unfortunately, that also means that we didn't get any points here. That being said, we're now at the end of March. I'm gonna sim to the 1st of April. And then we're just gonna check some statistics before we end the episode here. There we go. Just to check with our sponsor, we do already have 6 victories, all with Bramson. Everything else is going okay. Currently 37 in the rankings. And when we look at the rankings, we can see in our team that we already have 276 points for our new leader. There's gonna be 150 points for grabs at the nationals. That means we will definitely have 420 points already, and that would bring us currently around the 225th spot. We still need some more points. Let's see what the current kind of threshold is. Yeah, we need to aim for that 600 point mark. So really what we just have to do is win more races. Okay, that being said, we finished 3 months of simulating, of racing. One more thing to do, and that's why I didn't show it before. We have been looking for Icelandic riders, but we have found exactly 0 of them up until now. So I really hope that that will improve. Of course, we only have a low popularity, so there are very few riders being generated. And yeah, the only thing we can do is really hope that we will end up finding some of them. Apart from that, our new leader is evolving nicely, while our other team members, unfortunately, are going down, except for David Johnson. His sprint and his has been going up, but apart from that, not much improvement. Gudgarsson is getting old. He's also going on. It's the end of the career. So we only at the moment will have 6 Icelandic riders that are active if we cannot find any new youth anymore. If it stays like that, I hope it doesn't, but if it stays like that, I will grab a low rated Norwegian guy because a lot of races are with 7 and I would not like to be at a disadvantage. So we will kind of adopt a Norwegian dude that is gonna be Icelandic for a year. Right. That means we are done for this week. I hope you enjoyed today's video. There wasn't a lot of action going on. I really hoped with the ranking of last year we would get a lot of more invites to .1 races or .pro races, but apparently this is the only .1 race we will have. That also means, more importantly, that next episode I am going to do all of these races to gain points, and then we will do the races here at the end live to hopefully improve our rankings in the popularity of Iceland. So yeah, see you guys next time. You know the drill, like, subscribe, all that stuff. If you liked it, it's definitely not mandatory. This is just a passion project for me, so really want to keep that going. It's just always nice to be recognized for what you do. And that's about it. So see you next time.